Hey, hey, I had to bring back an oldie but goodie for today. Let me know what y'all think of the blonde curly. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You got to change it up, keep it interesting. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jamila McMallow, and I'm a mindset coach and relationship expert for successful professional women who are winning in their careers and businesses, but who also want to experience that same level of success in their personal life. So I help them to improve their relationship, not only with themselves, but even more specifically in their relationships with men. So today is the fourth part of the four-part series that I've been talking about on really taking a deep dive into why some women feel like they want to reach back out to their ex and draw him back into their life. I already talked about why you need to stop doing that, stop going back to your ex. Talked about why you keep going back to your ex. What is it, this thing that keeps compelling you to text him and to reach out to him and to look on his social media and all this nonsense? And then we also talked about yesterday why you need to love yourself, love yourself enough to be alone and allow yourself the time and space to heal and to do the deliberate and intentional work of shifting your limiting beliefs along with the guidance and support of someone who has an expertise in that area like myself. Now, today we are talking about elevate, because once you've done that inner work, once you've shifted those beliefs, now you've created space. And so now it's time for you to start stepping into the version of you that has everything that you want. And in this case, a committed relationship with a loving, loyal man who is faithful and all the things. Okay. And so the first thing you have to do in order to create this reality is you have to get crystal clear on what you want. And so what I mean by that is not a list of, oh, well, I want him to be tall and I want him to be this and this and this. No, no, no. Not a bunch of superficial characteristics, but rather what are the what are the characteristics and qualities that he needs to possess in his personality, in his way of being, in his values, in his beliefs, in his relationships with money, his with family. What about his business and career? Is he ambitious? Is he driven? All of these things about who he is as a person. And more specifically, who like who you are when you're at your absolute best, right? That's the first thing you have to understand, because when you understand who you are when you're at your absolute best, then you'll be able to determine, well, what are the traits, qualities, and characteristics that a man would have to possess in order to allow me to be at my best most of the time when I'm in his presence. We all should desire to be consistently surrounded by people who bring out the best in us. And that's hard to even imagine when you've been in a toxic relationship and you've been in a relationship that has forced you to be in a constant state of emotional combat. And who you are when you are in a toxic relationship is not who you really are. It's who you had to become in order to survive. It's not who you are when you're at your absolute best. So that part of you is something that you really need to take the time to get to know first. And that's what, when I talked about in the previous video, that time alone is going to allow you to do, is to get to know who you really are when you are at your absolute best. What are your dreams, your goals, your desires? What are the things that you really like to do? What are the things that you want to start doing? Those are the things that need to be crystal clear, because that's going to allow you to therefore then be able to determine what it is that you're looking for in a potential husband, because you want to make sure that you have those foundational pieces structured properly. Like for me, my relationship with God and us sharing the same faith, that was step one. But then even within that, what are the specific morals and values that we have, and our beliefs on certain things, even on like kids and how to raise kids and all of that. And so those were the things that were important to me. And so when I met my husband, that's where we spent the bulk of our time in getting to know each other, is getting to know each other in the light of God's word. Now, that may not be your priority, and that's fine, but that was ours. And so that allowed me. But I knew before he ever showed up, I got crystal clear on what I wanted and prayed for it consistently, so that when he showed up, I had a frame of reference. I was able to have something to compare it to know, okay, he's checking all the boxes and then some, you know, because I absolutely believe that my husband is a blessing and answer to prayer. And of course, God does not limit himself to what we ask for in our prayers. But I know that I took the action that I needed to take in order to get prepared and ready to receive that blessing. And I relied on him for his guidance throughout the process, throughout my healing, throughout all of the things that I did. And of course, I was blessed with my wonderful husband. And so I believe that women can experience that too. And here's the crazy part, even women who maybe don't have a belief in God, or who maybe are not, into prayer and things like that. If you become deliberate and intentional in your thinking and your actions and in what you're believing, as far as what you're telling yourself in here, you will create the results that you desire. It's how we're designed. It's how we're made, whether you recognize who's responsible for making it that way or not. Okay. So the first thing is you got to get clear on, the first thing you got to do is get to know who you are when you're absolute best. Then that's going to allow you to get clear on exactly what you want in a husband. And then you have to believe that you can receive it, that you can get it. So that means that you have to develop the sense of worthiness around it. You have to know that I can have this because I am good enough to receive it. I am lovable. I am worthy and deserving of being loved. I am loved. I am worthy and deserving of true love. I am worthy and deserving of having a healthy, happy relationship with a good man. I am worthy and deserving of a future that's peaceful, that doesn't involve drama and toxicity. I'm worthy and deserving of wealth, abundance, whatever. So you have to believe that you're worthy of it simply because you live, breathe, and exist. And then you have to start thinking about, who do I have to become in order to? So the woman who has all these things believes that she deserves them. And so she thinks a certain way about herself. She feels a certain way about herself. She lives her life in a certain way. And the woman I'm talking about is you, an elevated version of you. And so how do you step into her? How do you step into that identity? It's by starting to embody the way that she thinks, the way that she feels, and doing the things that she does. So you have to get clear on what that version of you looks like. If I had this, what would I be doing? What would my life look like? What would my daily routine be? And then start doing those things. And that's how you close the gap between where you are now and the woman you want to become, the woman who has all of the things that you desire. And that is how you elevate. And so I want you to go back and I want you to watch all these videos again. And I want you to really think about the things that I've said. Because when you go through it more than once, you're going to get something out of it that you didn't get before. The first one, like I said, I'm talking about why you've got to stop going back to your ex. The second one, I'm talking about why you keep going back to your ex. Then we're talking about why you've got to love yourself enough to be alone and heal. And in this one, we're talking about how you can go ahead and elevate and step into that new identity and step into that new version of yourself that has that healthy, happy relationship with a good man, that has the life that exceeds what you could ever have dreamed of. Okay. So if you, no matter which platform you're on, please like this video, please comment. If you're watching the replay, do hashtag replay for me. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and click the little notification bell. And if you're watching the replay of this on YouTube, I will I'll put the first video in this series here, so that if you're just jumping in on this one, you can start back at the beginning and get the full experience. So I hope that going through all of these videos has helped you to shift your mindset and your perspective on how you need to be looking at past relationships in order to really be able to move forward and start attracting and creating new relationships that are healthy, that are fulfilling, and that are going to give you the life that you truly desire, and most importantly, that you deserve. Because you, my friend, are worthy and deserving of love and being treated well and with kindness and with honesty, simply because you live, breathe, and exist. And if you really want to take an even deeper dive into all of this, I want to invite you to my 5-day Find Mr. Right challenge. I'm going to put the details for that below this video. In fact, I'm going to put the details for that below every single one of these videos. I'm going to go back. If you're watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook, I'll drop the link in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll actually be in the description for the video. But come to my Find Mr. Right 5-day challenge, where we're going to take an even deeper dive into these concepts so that you really can understand what it is that you have to do to attract a committed man and build the foundation for a lasting relationship that is going to lead to marriage. All right. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this series. I hope you got some value from it. In fact, I know you did, or you wouldn't have watched this until the end. And I will see you in the next video. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following. Make sure we're connected. All right. You take care.